Oh, I actually have a fun thing for us tonight, guys. And this is something you will only hear right here in this community. David Robert Mitchell was the writer and director of It Follows, a film I absolutely love. Yes. A few years ago, I made a short film with my friend Julian Terry. He made it more than I did, but I made a short film with my friend Julian Terry based on a script that we wrote on a project called They Hear It. I think I've told you guys the plot line before. It is kind of a Lovecraftian horror film about a young man who goes to a planetarium and listens to the void of space and is possessed by or becomes the harbinger of Azathoth and starts basically using a high-frequency noise to abduct children and turn them into a human speaker, basically. So when we sold the treatment for They Hear It, the person who eventually was hired to write the formal script for the project was David Robert Mitchell. So David Robert Mitchell has written a formal script of my work at one point, which is very cool. Sadly, that film ended up in production hell. And because of that, we were never able to show the short publicly. Sad. But they took so long releasing it that they have defaulted on the rights. And for the first time on my stream, I can show you guys the short film that we used to sell the concept for They Hear It, which became a screenplay and a script written by David Robert Mitchell. So here you go. Here's the short for the first time ever.
They're attacking us. Cosmos Trader! Cosmos Trader! Do you hear me? The quadricopter's exploded.
A flash. See that? What was it?
I don't know. The computer shows a pressure wave. Apparently an explosion. Distance, 120 miles.
Come on, Max. Max? Jack?
There you go. And there's the ending. It was adapted, and it never got made into a movie. Feels bad. But yeah, we never were able to show that short. Is this Blumhouse that bought this? No. I'm pretty sure this was Legendary.
Oh yeah, wow.
Yes, I think this was Legendary.
Inspiration for the monster at the end.
Amblin was Whisper. They Hear It was Legendary, and China Doll was Blumhouse. Surprise! None of those films have been made yet. 0 for 3, baby. Yeah, but I just linked it to you guys. I told this story once upon a time. I'm a big H.P. Lovecraft fan. My kind of ambition in life is to make an H.P. Lovecraft project that like does justice to the like Cthulhu mythos. And one of my favorite characters ever is Azathoth. So Azathoth is the blind idiot god. He's one of the coolest concepts in the entire mythos. Basically, he is like God in H.P. Lovecraft's canon. Basically, all of reality is the dream of this like sleeping mass of tentacles and nightmare. Like this is a good Azathoth depiction right here. He is like this nebulous creature that exists in the void. That is God, and his sleep. Oh, sorry, I'm covering the photo. His sleep it makes up reality, right? He's so powerful.
Oh yeah,
that
wow, that's for
his.
With the Prime.
Thank you so much.
I enjoyed it.
His dream of reality is reality.
Oh, wow, that's for cool.
Is reality as we know it, right? So there's Azathoth. Azathoth is so powerful that the other elder gods, Yog-Sothoth, here's Yog-Sothoth. Yog-Sothoth is the gate. Yog-Sothoth is the key. Yog-Sothoth is like the all-knowing one, and then there's Nar-Yethrotep. Nar-Yethrotep is like his son. Nar-Yethrotep is like what we know as the devil. If you've ever seen The Empty Man, Nar-Yethrotep makes a pretty dope cameo. Anyway.
Oh yeah, wow, that's for cool.
I always thought it was very cool that they all conspired to keep Azathoth asleep, right? I thought that was a good piece of lore. I always thought that was really cool, and I wish they had explored it. So They Hear It was basically my Azathoth story. It's a story about how Azathoth, basically like the noise of the cacophony of creatures that they use to keep him asleep, and just the sound of him sleeping is beamed out into the universe, and some kid at a planetarium is using the Listen to Space exhibit, which they actually have. I just thought it was really cool if he heard it, and basically Azathoth implants like a harbinger in him that gives him the desire to wake up Azathoth by creating this instrument, by mashing kids together. So the monster at the end is basically like that child becoming the harbinger, like shedding his skin and beginning to recruit other kids. In the feature length, basically what he would do is take a bunch of children and mash them into like a human speaker, right? Like literally have them broken and twisted with all their mouths to make like a giant speaker to beam the sound out to other portions of the universe. Yeah, it was super fucked up, but we loved it. But it was very high concept, probably why it never ended up getting made. But if you've never heard The Sounds of Space, they're nightmarish. I'll play a few of them for you. This is like my favorite part. So this was like the inspiration, right? Was listening to some of these sounds of space. Let's give it a listen. Here's the sun. Earth just sounds like a mess. Listen to Mars. There's Jupiter. Saturn. Anyway, we used a lot of those sounds, and they were kind of the inspiration, because they're like, it's like the most evil sounding I've ever heard. And yeah, I'm really proud of not only the script we wrote, the concept we created, but also the short that Julian eventually wrote and directed. It's funny, like, there are things I did on set for this that I was like watching and I was like, I hit that bush. But my friend Julian is an incredibly talented filmmaker. And yeah, I was glad that we could make something like that. And yeah, man, I hope one day we get to make it. I was talking to him about potentially making some stuff in the future, but you know, my schedule is so fucked right now. Hopefully I can find some time in the future.